Welcome, 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 one and all, to another live edition of the Extra Point Show. We have the gang in the house. We got Michigan Mike occupying the middle square today. What's going on, Michigan Miguel?
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, show everybody that big old cup of coffee you got.
It's not big.
No, because we're about to say what's in that cup. And flanked all the way to our right, playing the X slot today at receiver, we have our international sports correspondent, Miss Tosha T Sizzle. What's going on, T Sizzle?
Nothing. I'm just chilling at this spot in Sasua called Bailey's, where you find all the bitches, thieves, and dope heads in here. If I pan around, you see it's nothing but putas here, and you can translate.
Mike, get your dumb butt ready. Mike, Mike.
No, hold up.
It's a very nice restaurant, but hey, the working girls got to come in here and get chose. But the food is good here.
We are not. I'm looking at the live here. We're not even a minute and 30 seconds into the show, Mr. Mike. Do you have a sedative that I could take? Because she is actually on one. Now, Mike, one more time. Hold up your cup, Mike. Can you for me, for the people? Now, this episode is brought to you by
May Jane's Coffee. That's MAEJANES coffee.com. You can get your Honduran, your Colombian, and your Brazilian blend coffee, all freshly ground by my sweet baby, Sasha. So please support. Again, that's MayJanesCoffee.com.
That is MayJCoffee.com. Make sure you check that out. Now, we want to start off the show because this is going to be football heavy today, of course. We're going to do our draft recap. But we want to start off the show with a couple of shout-outs with a Michigan flavor that I thought that y'all would be able to appreciate. We're going to start in the middle square with Michigan Mike. Michigan Mike, we're going to shout out the University of Michigan for becoming the first school in the history of the college football to have 83 consecutive drafts with a draft selection, dating all the way back to 1939.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was a crazy stat when I saw that. I was like, wait, what? That's a long time.
That is a long time. I mean, 1939? I mean, wow. That's shouts out to Michigan for that. And to Tosha T Sizzle to our far right. We want to send a shout out to one Michigan legend, one Isaiah Thomas, who's celebrating his 60th birthday today. Shouts out to the original bad boy of the Detroit Pistons, two-time champion.
Detroit basketball.
That's how it goes down. So, shouts out to our Michigan brethren up there. Go Blue. Hopefully, Nico Collins falls to Tennessee in the second round or the third round this coming up draft. As you all can see, I have on my lucky AJ Brown because it's day 2, and this is one of our day 2 gems. Also got for tonight our best second round draft pick of all time, King Henry. King Henry. What's up, Sasha Denise? Hey, we just shouted out your deal. Can you please put that up on the screen for anyone who wants to order your product? Now, it was a lack of intrigue at the first 2 picks. I think we all were pretty much on board with Trevor Lawrence going number 1 and what's the kid's name that went to the Jets?
You talking about Zach Wilson?
Yeah,
Zach. I was just testing y'all.
From BYU. From BYU.
Zach Wilson went number 2. But at number 3, Tosha, your San Francisco 49ers made waves. No Mac Jones. We waited 3 months for this selection, seems like. And you all picked Trey Lance. Now, judging by your body language, you seem to be on board with this, correct?
Very much on board. But this is the thing right here. If I was Mac Jones, if I ever saw anyone in that 49ers organization, it is on site. They done had this man's head filled up thinking he was going to be, the 49ers pick, and they didn't pick him. He's suited and booted. He's sitting in the booth at the draft in Cleveland, and he's sitting there just waiting, getting the old Aaron treatment. Remember when they pulled him to the back when he was dressed like Cab Calloway in the zoot suit and his draft with the pinstripes and on it?
You said he was in Janet Jackson All Right video?
Yes, he was in All Right video. But I am very. I'm not trying to say that I'm very happy because of the person that they selected. I'm glad of the person they did not select.
Which
I did
is
Mac Jones. I just did not want Mac Jones. Again, I think they fluff up certain quarterbacks to fit a narrative, but I don't think he would have been what we needed. He's slow. Um, he just doesn't fit the scheme that Shanahan. Look at what Shanahan has had over the past. Even when he was offensive coordinator in Atlanta, he had
right.
him. He got Matt Ryan, but look at what Matt Ryan had. Look at the weapons he had. And you get somebody like Mac Jones, who's coming from basically a system, and he's not a system quarterback. I mean, in the NFL, I don't think he'll be a good system quarterback, but he came from that Alabama, machine that you can pretty much put anybody in at the quarterback with those receivers and that line and those running backs that they have, and they're successful.
Right. And to your point, there were questions about Tua Tagovailoa, Michigan Mike being one of those last year, as well as with Jalen Hurts as well. So with all of those quarterbacks that's come through Alabama, there have been question marks about them, not just Mac Jones. I was pleasantly surprised to see that they did make that pick. Mike, what were your thoughts on San Francisco taking Trey Lance over Mac Jones?
I would agree with majority of what Tasha was saying. I do like that pick a lot. I also think it works out for Mac Jones going to the Patriots. They need kind of more of a yes sir, no sir type thing in the Patriots scheme, and so that pick fits Mac Jones pretty well. So I mean, I liked it overall.
But Belichick said that Cam is still the starter. So is that going to be a thing where they have him sitting for a while, or as soon as Cam messes up, they're just going to go ahead and throw the rookie in? What are they going to do?
No, I think
That's that because Mike, answer that for us.
yeah, I think you'll see a trend this year coming back to the older days. When we were watching football, and it was more of a developing the quarterback type of scenario. To where I think the newer age was like just throw them in there and get demolished. I think you'll see that a lot with. I know that they did Trevor Lawrence. They're going to do that with him, and I think he'll sit behind Cam to learn a little bit more, and then kind of prepare him for the future.
Right, and I think if you're Bill Belichick, you owe it to your organization to see what you have with Cam with all of the pieces that you've added this offseason first, because your best scenario is just like you and Mike were saying. If Cam can go out there, be serviceable enough to get you 9-10 wins, maybe squeeze into a wild card game, then let him just run his course with his 1-year deal, and then you bring in Mac Jones, who had a year to sit. I think that'll be your best scenario for him. But it's New England. If they get off to a slow start, they start off 1-2, 1-3, and they're looking across the bow at a Super Bowl defending champion in Tom Brady. We don't know if that's going to accelerate. Michael Harris, shouts out to Michael Harris. Since you're on board, we'll jump to your team because your team made quite a wave as well with the Chicago Bears. They moved up, traded some picks, moved up to number 11 to take Justin Fields. Now, let me start with my esteemed panel with this. Justin Fields looked absolutely pissed last night. If you saw any of the pictures of him and his family, even while they were going to transition to Chicago's pick, you saw his family. Like the camera caught it early. His family wasn't even in the TV room watching the TV. You saw them like trickling in as they were going to commercial, as if to say, "Hey, you just got a call. It's time for you to get in front of this TV and look happy." He did not look happy. Now, my question to you, Tasha, we'll start with you. Do you think he was not happy because he failed, or do you think he was not happy because of who he failed to?
I think it's more because of it could be a little bit of both. So let me take that back, because the coaching situation in Chicago is not stable. So you don't know.
Matt Nagy's on his way out.
Yeah, you get your rookie quarterback in, and he's drafted, for the particular GM and a particular coach, and then that coach is no longer there. Is he still going to fit the scheme or the plan of whoever they hire next? And then you got, Canelo Dalton, aka Andy Dalton, and he's saying that he was supposed to be the starter, and they brought him in for a particular reason. My breakfast is here. They brought him in for a particular reason. Are they going to use him, or okay? I'm off subject, but that's just things that kind of crossed my mind. But I think he was more upset because of a little bit of both. He probably thought he should have been higher, as I did as well.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he's from the school that none of us really care for, but I would have loved to see him in the Bay Area personally. I mean, I'm okay with Trey Bay, but I would have liked to see, Justin Fields in the Bay Area.
All right, middle square Mike. Now, if that were you and your family having to sit there and watch you fall to Chicago, would your level of upset be because of falling or because of falling to Chicago? Where just less than 3 weeks ago, their Super Bowl winning quarterback, Jim McMahon, said that's where quarterbacks go to die. Now, your one and only Super Bowl champion quarterback says this about an organization that picks you up a few weeks later. Mike, what would be your thoughts on that?
I would have been more upset about him falling. I think Chicago organization is great. I like the city. And if I'm him and I'm like a competitor, I'd rather be there than, I don't know, Jacksonville, me personally.
Yeah.
but
Duval.
if you want to talk about places to die, there's definitely other teams other than Chicago, I would say.
Right, this was a playoff team last year, for goodness sakes.
I think he got a lot of hype from some other top choices teams, like Denver or Carolina or Atlanta, that were probably looking at him pretty strongly. I think this whole Rodgers talk initially on day kind of came out, and I think some of those teams were like, oh, we actually have a chance to get Rodgers. I think that kind of threw it out, and that's why he dropped.
Right, now since you brought up Rodgers, let's go ahead and go there. Right before,
wait a minute. Can I piggyback off of what Mike said really fast?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I also hope it's not the same scenario where as they traded up to get Mitchell Trubisky and we see what happened there. They traded up so they could take him, and then he turns out not to be, after we've been hyping him up saying that he deserved better, and then he goes to Chicago, and like you said, that's where they go to die, and then he dies.
Right. I was alarmed by the body language because that's the body language that we saw of the quarterback that was on the way out in Mitchell Trubisky. Kind of aloof, kind of like, I don't want to be here. You want one of those quarterbacks that's going to run and jump into the commissioner's arms, just so excited about being drafted. They look like they were dressed for a funeral and all that black.
Yeah, I mean, it's not his first time to be. I mean, that's the newer generation, right? So, like the Gen Z or the younger millennials think, well, if I don't like it, I'm gonna leave. He left Georgia, went to Ohio, and then now he's in Chicago. Like, what is he gonna do? I'm more focused on his mental strength right now. I think we all know that he physically can get the job done. I think just being mentally there.
But I don't think he necessarily left Georgia because, I don't like it here. He was kind of, they really didn't give him a chance. He was pretty much kind of forced out, and, he wanted his talent to be seen. So he was like, I got to go.
But that's the whole point in NFL, right? We're moving towards that whole, like, we're going to prepare you to be ready. And so let's say he does have to sit 1 or 2 years. Like, is he mentally focused so that he can still get the job done afterwards?
That's a great question, and I'm worried about that if I'm a Bears fan. Because you did bring in Andy Dalton. You paid him more than minimum wage to come and be your placeholder, at least for a year until you figure things out at quarterback. Andy Dalton, I know that I gave him a lot of crap because I threw the baby out with the bathwater with Dallas's season last year. Everybody had to go. I was just so enraged at them, not meeting expectations that I took it out on everybody, including the quarterback. When he lost his line, he lost a lot of things. He had no defense. He's going to have a defense in Chicago. He's got a top flight receiver in Allen Robinson. He's got a 1,000-yard rusher behind him. He's got a solid offensive line. Do you go into this the same way that you would prepare if you were like New England? You have a veteran incumbent in place. Go ahead and roll red rifle out there as long as you can.
Yeah, I would definitely say a strong yes. I think what we're talking about in, August off wax call, we were talking about how like it's a whole different speed, like even if you're coming from an increased speed of the Big Ten, like it's still not NFL speed. So like at least go out there, have Andy Dalton take a couple more hits from you, see what other gaps that they need from the Bears organization, and be like, oh, okay, and then go out there when they get you those placements.
Now, let this be a cautionary tale to you college quarterbacks out there. Michigan Mike represents the establishment, and he said for you all to take a couple more hits. That's what we're talking. Take a couple more hits.
But Mike is telling him to take a couple more hits. But even going down to what is it, Pop Warner, they're protecting the quarterback at all costs. They can't take a hit. That's why they're coming up, and every time a defensive lineman or somebody touches them or looks at them the wrong way, they want a flag.
Right. Now
they're not allowed to be touched.
We want to send a shout out to Rigo. Karan's a big 49er fan. Yesterday, he did hit me up and say that was his pick, and now he's calling it. It's not the Bay Area or the Yay area. It's now the Trey area. Shouts out to Joe McGee, big Cowboys fans. He said, what about Patrick? Let's talk about how mad he looked when Denver drafted him. I was so concerned, more focused on them taking the Cowboys corners. Let's get to the Cowboys, all right? Let's get to the Cowboys. The Cowboys, now, Mike, you love this pick, Micah Parsons, middle linebacker out of Penn State, correct?
Yeah, I really like that pick. I mean, I guess the whole thing of what they did, you were against us saying that they should trade down, but it turned out like, hey, you move a couple of spots down, you get an extra pick in the third round, and you still get a defensive player, which you drastically need. And this is a good linebacker, so I was down for that.
Tosha,
you like this move by the Cowboys?
I like it. He kind of fits the Cowboys' motif. If you would say, because he comes with a little baggage. Remember, he got into a little trouble when he was back in Penn State, causing a guy to leave campus allegedly for hazing. But I mean, like we discussed, what was it, last time we were on the show, the Cowboys need a little bit of everything. I think this is a good starting point. But also, what did old belly shirt mean when he said, "Don't touch me in practice"? Was that a thing of him, Big Ten rivals, Penn State, the FIs? Like, what did that tweet mean? I didn't understand that.
Well, I didn't see the tweet, but if I had to guess, Zeke is fragile now. He don't want those young headhunter coming in there taking one of those packs off of his six-pack. Now, I'm going to say to hell with both of you all. Y'all are being disingenuous because you don't like my Cowboys. This was a terrible, terrible move after I had a night to sleep on it. And I know, Joe McGee, you're a Cowboys fan, and he's saying very good. No, it's not very good. The only reason why you sit at 10 is if you get J.C. Horn, quarterback out of South Carolina, or if you get Patrick Surtain out of Alabama, the cornerback. If they would have listened to me, they would have moved up, got Kyle Pitts, had the greatest show on Toyf, and then you wouldn't be worried about 10. Then you wound up having to work out a trade.
There they go.
Hold on. We just gave the Eagles Devontae Smith. Well, why would we do that? Did you not see?
Every time somebody started talking about moving up in the draft. There go the Cowboys fans.
Yeah, we could have had a Super Bowl. This would have been our year. And
no, don't do that, because we are going to have a Super Bowl this year. Now, Damian Colter checking in, huge Bears fan. Now, he's going to make a surprise appearance this weekend. He says, why would Fields expect to land in an ideal situation when expecting to be the top pick? Because he's a Buckeye and he's entitled, D. Haven't you followed the Buckeyes? They are a bunch of entitled brats that think that they should be number one in everything. They think that they should be able to play a 6-game schedule and go to the college football playoffs. They think that they should be able to choke a lady on campus. I'm going to digress on that. They think that they just entitled. But now, Joe McGee, now I got love for you and happy belated birthday. But we have a tight end in Blake Jarwin. Somebody can hand me a butter knife. Will a butter knife hit a main artery?
If you dig deep enough, if you shake it and just turn that.
Right, like how that lady got stabbed on Mortal Kombat. He just put it right there. He stuck his little finger in there.
And then if you twist it, like it won't heal because you left a little hole after you stay. You got to twist it.
Now, see, D has a good point. He said, nope, I'm a Tar Heel. We're just glad to be drafted. Shouts out to the Tar Heels. But no.
Shouts out to North Carolina.
we're gonna save a bunch of the Bears talk for tomorrow. Make sure y'all look out for the Brothers Draft recap. As we recap 1, 2, and 3 tomorrow live, y'all. Be sure to check that out. My brother will be making his TEP debut, and of course, he will be in the hot seat. But my thing is, to hell with Blake Jarwin, to hell with Micah Parsons. The only thing that he has in common with the Cowboys is a police blotter. They can all sit down and Google each other. You should have gotten Kyle Pitts. With Kyle Pitts today, we would lead off every segment on all of the sports shows that we have the most unstoppable offense since the 99 Minnesota Vikings.
When you always ask us if we were running our organization, you know what organization you're running? You're running that indoor football organization. That's what type of offense you're running. Yeah, okay, go over there. Yeah. We're trying to run NFL teams over here.
Yeah.
Now, look, I get that. But Joe said, but there's still a lot of great players out there, though. But that's not the Cowboy way. We leap in the first round. Other owners don't make picks from yachts. We leap in the first round.
Maybe that's their problem. That's their problem then. I mean, when's the last time you saw them?
That's the
Okay. So let's say this: we sent a corner blitz, and now our first round pick, Michael Parsons, gets matched up in the slot against Philly's first round pick, who we just gave them the Heisman Trophy winner. Who wins that battle?
Oh, that's a mismatch all day.
That's a mismatch. Come on now, don't do that to me. Don't do that. Like Cowboys,
it's a mismatch.
Y'all better step it up in this second and third round. Now I know y'all got a few picks, but it should have been Pitts, man.
But you could also reverse that. I mean, any corner or any wide receiver you pick in the second round is gonna be a mismatch for Philly's defense. You know why? Because Philly doesn't have a defense. So we could reverse that all day in the NFC.
And then also, you're talking about him trying to go up against anybody going up against the Heisman Trophy winner. Of course, we all know we believe he dropped because of his weight, but he still can separate from anybody that you put on him. That was proven. Because you look at how many draft picks the SEC has, and look over time, the SEC always has multiple draft picks. He can separate. It doesn't matter.
He can, but he can separate. So, Mike, you're not worried about a 6 foot tall frame and 166 pounds. You're not worried about that.
No, because that's very similar to Deshaun Jackson running that scheme. We just need him to be able to catch the ball and run a good route, which he does really well. So we're good.
Right.
Now, D chimes in with 49ers should have taken Pitts and had that dynamic 2 tight end duo, Gronk and Hernandez.
No, because Garoppolo.
Y'all not showing that no love.
Because Garoppolo is not the answer. I mean, I know they're saying they're going to keep him. That's what they're saying now. We need a replacement at quarterback. Jimmy G is not doing it.
And now Jimmy G has no home because the only place that I felt that was suitable for a second-day draft trade was back to New England. I don't know who would pick him up now. I don't know who will pick him up now. But I will say this. He said, Jimmy G's the backup now. Would you start Jimmy G week 1?
Well, they're saying that Jimmy G is still the starter. But that is what they are saying. But, they tell you anything to make you happy. And then come, week 1, you got Trey Bay under center.
But see, now Jimmy G can go ahead and stand on the sideline with his phone and send that WID to Scrunchy Girl. Y'all remember Scrunchy Girl?
Bye.
You got plenty of time. She's gonna be like, wait, WID this weekend. Oh, nothing. I got a walkthrough. I'll be over there a little bit later. Shouts out to the San Francisco 49ers. No, wait, now hold on now. Well, speaking of San Francisco, D says the QB's not the problem. The running backs can't stay on the field. To that, you say what?
Remember,
the whole team was injured last year.
Remember, I told you that last night when you said, "Oh no, he has this, he has that." We still need a few pieces. I have food in my mouth, that's why my mouth is covered. But we still need a few pieces. We need a running back. We need a line. We need more defense because our defense is old.
We'll see. But okay, so D, while we got you here, let's scratch the surface with the Titans because we're gonna do a deep dive on them tomorrow and really pull behind the curtain. This is my thing with with the Titans. We always trying to shopping out the dented can bin in Walmart. We always trying to get a damn deal. Now Caleb Farley, who's a cornerback from
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, he, like all of the Titans' first round picks recently, is coming off an injury, a back injury. He opted out
To make that 2. He has 2 back surgeries. And
look at you doing your
ACL.
homework. He did 2 back surgeries. Hadn't played in 17 months. Opted out last year, so he hadn't played in forever. They said that he will be ready by training camp, but that's what they said when they drafted. The receiver that just left. They said that about him. We drafted him first round pick, 5th overall pick. He had a bum ankle. He couldn't participate until the season started. Started off slow. Now he's in with the Jets. We took Jeffrey Simmons the year the draft was in Nashville. He had a torn ACL at the time. He didn't get on the field till November.
But when Jeffrey Simmons did get on that field, what did he do?
He's a monster. He was a monster.
Okay, and why? Clanger, Hail State.
Now, here we go with the Hail State. But here we are again drafting another injured player. When you had who I wanted to be the pick, Elijah Moore out there as a wide receiver. So, okay, Sasha, you correct. Oh, look, though, they jumped in quick. The Bulldogs don't play. Jeffrey Simmons,
right, because that's her alumni. She ain't gonna let you talk bad about anybody.
Right,
Mississippi State,
especially when he was sucking that bottle. You know, he got that police blotter too.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on the cornerback. I think they needed to spend a little bit more time on that pick. I probably would have picked either the cornerback from Northwestern, Newsome, or even Bateman from Minnesota was a good wide receiver. I probably would have picked him, or the Georgia.
Can we pause right there? The name that you said just gave me an ulcer. Rashawn Bateman from Minnesota. We saw him up close and personal last year as Big Ten followers. He went to Baltimore. The one thing their offense needed was a big physical receiver. So we don't take one, and we let him go to the team that just beat us in the playoffs. I'm gonna need y'all to help me out with that. Now, he says, "Give us Farley." Well, hell, Farley. Look, now I'm trying to pause on that. I'm like, I don't know if we want to give up a cornerback. The way we looked last year. The way we look. Mike, it's day 2.
Yes.
Sounds like the 49ers under Trip Baalke drafting projects. So are the Titans. But at least
the Titans have not been right. The Titans have not been right ever since they locked Stephen there out of that training room. They've been going downhill ever since.
I think that started the Super Bowl curse. I really do. And I'm going to follow up with D on that tomorrow. I really do think that was a Super Bowl curse because we've gotten close and some fluke things have happened for us to miss because that was dog dirty how you did that, man. It was. So, Mike, let's go back to you in the middle square. What are you looking for Philly to get accomplished the rest of this weekend? What would be an ideal scenario to Matthew Smith?
Defense. Man, you know that offensive ball is not my way to watch a game, and I literally will turn off the TV if it's 50-52. Like, I can't do that. Right. I need some defense to show some type of stop in there. So, yeah, I'm gonna go. I think this year we're gonna see the curve. I think the last 5 years it's all been like, oh, defense wins championships, but lately it's been good offenses win championships. I think this last Super Bowl kind of showed like you still need a good defense, and it can beat a good offense. So I'm gonna go for that defense.
Right, I agree. I think the motto now is offense sells jerseys, defense wins championships.
Right.
Because the stands are full of jerseys of offensive players, but when the rubber met the road, Patrick Mahomes had no time to do nothing in that Super Bowl. That front four won that Super Bowl.
Man, I still got my Patrick Willis jersey. So
wait a minute, y'all. Should this comment? Hey, right? Should this comment hang in there or have a seat? Dallas will have a top 10 defense this year. Watch.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
He gets one of those. Just
there you go, Mike. Give him the stank face, Mike. That's right. The stank face. Have
hey, he put his own eyeball emoji up there. Even I was like, huh? I was prepared to just win 50-42 every week. Like I don't know about that.
Yeah, you got to read it like this. You got to be like what's that? What's that saying?
Mike, how you gotta read it again, Mike? How you gotta read it, Mike?
You got. Hey, what did I say? What did I say?
Now come on, man. Look, it's an Eagles fan and a San Francisco fan on the panel, Joe. You know they're gonna come after your Cowboys. You know they're gonna come and see. That's why you should have agreed with me earlier. They don't. Now we will be improved. We will make the playoffs. We will win the division. I don't know about the top 10 defense. Now, my brother says, damn, Titan, Samuel Jr. is still on the board. You can't find a player without a hospital wristband on. Why can't they? Now, off wax, he told me this morning that Baptist is a sponsor. They don't work for us, you know. Everybody, and that's a hospital for y'all that don't live in Nashville. They're sponsored by a hospital. You're going to keep all them nurses employed, ain't you, Titans? Second round for Tennessee, we got to get a wide receiver, and we need to get an offensive lineman as well. So if you don't go wide receiver in the second round, I'm turning it off and watching the Grizzlies game.
I mean, Tosha, your quarterback is technically a wide receiver.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That man is a top 5 a quarterback in the AFC. No, we're not doing that.
There's a lot of good receivers out there, though. So that's
Nico
good.
Collins. Nico. And you can keep your same jersey number now because you can wear single digits. Now, Tosha, what are you looking for the rest of the draft with the 49ers now that you got your QB?
Well, again, I'm hoping we get some more defense because the defense is good. Again, they're aging. You can't keep plugging old A players in and thinking they're still going to be effective against these new, young, fit and stout quarterbacks. And like I said, as I always say, with the offensive linemen being so svelte now, you can't keep trotting that old defense out there and think they're going to get stops.
Right. And Sasha, Denise, you are right. And then Joe, we're coming right back to you because I want to get their thoughts on that as well. With Aaron Rodgers, when I first saw this, I figured that San Francisco must be kicking themselves because they've already given up the 3 draft picks for unproven commodity when they would have just as easily handed that over, maybe even half of that, and gotten Rodgers. Tosha, do you think that we will see Aaron Rodgers in a Green Bay uniform this fall? He says hell no. What do you say?
Let me explain this to you. And I was reading stuff last night. Aaron Rodgers says, "Oh, I want to be out of Green Bay." Have you ever heard people in hell want ice water? Do you actually think that they are going to let Aaron out of Green Bay? They did draft their quarterback of the future, allegedly. But as long as that boy's got breath in his body, he's going to have on that number 12 doo-doo green and old gold jersey up there in the frozen tundra. So he can cancel that.
I mean, we thought that we thought that was going to happen with Brett Favre too. I think it's very similar to how their organization is being ran. I think Aaron Rodgers is noticing that as a veteran and being like, "Hey, I'm an MVP," and then Brett Favre over there like eating his popcorn, like, "Man, I told you." I think not having offensive powers or like you're asking for certain power weapons and then not getting it in the first round is, that's pretty hard to live with. Like, you're doing your job. You're supposed to be the face of the organization, kind of like Tosha said, but like they're not listening to you. And to the organization's point, like there's a whole bunch of offensive weapons in the second round. So it's kind of more like, all right, like we hear you, just simmer down. Let us do our job, which I get. But over the past 10 years, they haven't really come through with anything. So, Mike,
that's an excellent point. The last 10 drafts, 9 defensive players in the first round, and the 10th was the quarterback to replace you. What are we doing there? Like, yeah. I don't think he's going to be there. I think he's going to be in New Orleans. Now we're going to go back.
My whole beef with Aaron. You want to be vocal now, but when you had the chance in that NFC Championship game to open your mouth and call an audible and call that play so you all could win in the Super Bowl, you kept your lips glued together.
Coming in hot.
Right, so don't bump your gums now talking about you want to leave. You had every opportunity in that game to make a decision.
Coming in
And
hot.
he
Now
did
that
not
sounds
make
like
the
something
decision.
Mike would say. Like, oh, now you want to talk.
She not
Oh,
wrong,
see, I
but
was doing this. I was doing this the whole time.
she's not wrong. I don't see him going to New Orleans. I probably see him going to Denver. That's probably where I see him going.
And you know what? If Denver has a heads up that a second day deal could be made, maybe that's why you go cornerback and just leave the quarterback alone
But
with your
they
first pick.
just got Bridgewater. Didn't they just get Bridgewater in Denver?
Don't do it, Mike. They did just get Bridgewater. Don't do it. They got a first round
He ain't
pick.
no Aaron Rodgers. Let's be real. Come on now.
No,
just
he's
got
no Aaron
Daryl.
Rodgers. But how many? But the thing is, I think he's so humble and just wants to be in the league. I think that if you give up a 6th-round pick for him, I mean, just let him be your backup. Just let him be your backup. The fact that he returned from that knee injury and got a couple of deals after that is remarkable in itself. So I wouldn't push it to the football gods if I was him. Just let me get a couple of more checks, and we're good with that. Now, Joe asked, what's your take on Harris from Bama? You think he would be a good back in this league? Najee Harris was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. You like his fit there? Anybody take the floor.
Oh yeah, because obviously the running game let Pittsburgh down last season. You know, you had the guy that had the cancer. He was your running back, but then he was hurt, and everyone else that they had in there, they weren't effective. Pittsburgh needs a running game. Now, I mean, can you put this rookie in and this rookie just turn heads and just run all over people? You know he might, because they did have a decent line.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, anybody
can run behind that line.
Any running back from Alabama, I'm gonna take. So I mean, look at their pass. I definitely think.
Sam said he could. Sam said he could run behind that line.
All right, Sam, and we'll get your jersey too. We throw this on since y'all propping up the team. Yeah, finish your statement, Mike.
Oh.
No, that's pretty much all I was gonna say. Just he's gonna make an impact immediately.
Because when the Bama backs
there
come
they
through
go. There they go. Every time you start talking about a running back, some
you get one of these plus 2 G's.
Crown for King Henry.
One of these plus 2 G's, baby. That's how it goes. Now, shouts out to Duke. Thoughts on Titans risk? We just covered that a little bit while ago. I'm not sold on all these dented can mass unit people who 3 of the last 5 first-round picks were not able to participate in all-season camp. They had to be brought along slowly. Yes, Jeffrey Simmons is going to be a dominant all-pro first-team type of a big, but Corey Davis wound up getting shipped out of here. And I'm not all that sold on us going the dented can route, because it's not like Walmart where you can just go and they just scan a discount. The rookie contracts are slotted.
Right.
So why are you trying to go get all of these discounted players? That
right.
It doesn't help. Sasha says yes, Najee Harris is a perfect fit.
But her father's also a Steelers fan.
Now, Joe says he ain't no big Eddie George. He ain't no who. I'll move this camera. Loving these Titans legends getting some love today. D checking back in says, honestly, Aaron, man, see, why y'all calling that man that now?
He is Aaron. That's what he's always going to be known as, Aaron.
No, D says, the dude that drives the best car and wears the best clothes to the dance, and the music comes on and he can't dance. Dude's been coming up short when D, I like the PG version of this. I love it, D. Way to use your wordplay.
He still won a Super Bowl. Like, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there.
Super Bowl had a full head of hair.
Lewis's ass.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that haven't won an MVP or a Super Bowl. So,
Mike, we can't keep holding on to that Super Bowl, Mike. Hold on now,
that
Mike.
goes back to if he's this. Well, you guys know I just hate Tom Brady so much. That just burned me. That you're supposed to be the great. You're supposed to be the great Aaron Rodgers. You're the best decision maker. You do this, you do that, but you can't make one call to get your team to the championship.
Maybe he did pull a Tom Brady and was like, you know what? Nah, I already got mine. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm not getting you another one.
Oh, maybe. Shouts out to Stephanie Colter checking in. But that is true. Now, where do you go now that the step strong one time? That all of the quarterback spots have been taken, right?
Right.
Or who am I missing here?
Going to go that with a team that's going to give him the same chance to win a Super Bowl as he has in Green Bay? Where is he going?
Well,
what team is one quarterback away from going to the Super Bowl?
Paul said New Orleans.
I love New Orleans.
Know.
Okay.
New Orleans is good because they just have a running back there and no off. They have no one running the game right there.
Like Alvin Kamara is going to be the new Christian McCaffrey. We're going to need you to run for 1,000, catch for 1,000, return punts.
But that's a lot of competition to go against Tom Brady a couple times a year, so that's pretty tough.
Not Tom Brady, that Tampa Bay defense. Let's get that clear.
Joe agrees.
Yeah. But I don't think that's going to happen, though.
But hold on. But when Aaron Rodgers won that Super Bowl, the Defensive Player of the Year that year was one Charles Woodson. Well, my wall is just showing out today.
There's a reason why.
About Charles in charge.
There's a reason why we keep talking about that Super Bowl. And it was in Texas. Boom.
Hold on. Now we got a don't sleep on Winston. Would you hold on to Winston and your assets? Mike, these faces. I'm gonna cut up some gifs of your faces.
Mike has been hanging around us too long with these faces.
Mike, if a picture was worth 1,000 words, you'd have an essay.
There'll be selling your stuff to college students.
I'm not answering this one, so someone else can answer this one.
Hold on, no, you gonna answer this because now we got Who Dat Nation after your ass. Now, see, Mark is checking in with the Stop Hating. Now, let me ask you this objectively, Mike, and you too, Tosha, both of y'all. Would you rather have Jameis Winston and the rest of your picks for this draft, or package up some of these picks, a pick next year, and go bring in Aaron?
Aaron, easy.
I mean, if you're comparing, Paul, it's kind of self-explanatory. If you're comparing crab legs, grab him by the peas, grandmama-shaped Winston over...
Oh, he's got a new shape now. He may still sold out of Burger King, but he's trimmed down.
Over a proven winning quarterback.
But we're talking about pieces, too. He's not going to come cheap. You're ready to give up 3? No, Mike, you love your first-round picks.
Yeah.
You love to get additional picks if you can. You would mortgage the rest of the window for Kamara? Well, what? I just answered my own question.
Yeah, I was like...
To keep Kamara's window open. Yes,
I think the thing is right now, the Saints aren't going to be ready in 5 years. They're ready like right now. And so you got to make a choice right now, not 5-10 years from now.
Right.
Joe says keep your picks and roll with Winston.
Yeah, the Saints have to. The
man
Saints
did throw for 5,000 yards
because, but again, the window on the Saints is closing. That with all that talent, it's time for them to get it going. They need to. Within the next 2 or 3 years, that window's going to be closed.
Slam
so they've got to get in and get it.
Right, because some of their best defensive players will be up there as well. Okay, I get you. Now let's transition from quarterback to tight end. And no, I'm not about to go Kyle Pitts on y'all again because I'm still sickened by that. We could have been the talk of the draft, but no, Michael Parsons is the close second. This is not after dark, Tosha. That was for all you fellas over there in the comment section. Let's get what we look at. See, we haven't been together in a long time, and you can tell. Where was tight end? Yes. Speaking of tight end.
Speaking of tight ends.
Hold on. You get.
Wait a minute, Joe. I'm gonna pan around for you, Joe. Stay right there. I'm gonna pan around for you, Joe. You looking, Joe? I'm gonna pan around for you.
Only on the extra point do you get the real visuals. Right. Sizzle trying to get. Oh no! That's shut down, Marcus. That's shut down. I got to reach y'all. Where's the hide button? This thing is going off the rails. Hold on, Steph.
I'm basically in the bus station for prostitutes. What do you expect?
Okay, back to football.
Like Sam said, a slew of them.
Back to
What do you think all these men are in here for?
Now check this out. Hold on, Mike. Let's restore some order here. On the NFL Network, they proposed a Russell Wilson and Jamal Adams for Rodgers and Packers safety straight up. Your thoughts on that?
Man, I don't know why the Seahawks trying to get rid of Russell Wilson or like what's going on over there.
Right.
But didn't Pete Carroll just say something about they were fully behind Russell Wilson the other day? I think I read.
Yeah, that's what I'm
confused.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of backlash from the fans. I think.
Russell comes home to Wisconsin. You get you a safety in Jamal Adams. At least you got that since you love going defense. And then freeze him, let him go on out there to the West Coast and smoke his dudes.
I mean, it could.
Again, you go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it's gonna be a win-win for either team, but I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about, I would say, the fan bases. Since I'm not a huge fan of either of them, I'm just like, I don't know how they're gonna react. I wouldn't like it if it was my team. I'm gonna stick with Rodgers.
He just won the MVP. You ain't going nowhere. You're going to sit right on down here and you're going to eat this meal or you ain't eat nothing.
Like I said, people in hell on ice water, AA Ron.
Look, now, back to the tight end position.
Okay.
Your boy, old Tim Tebow, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Tim, he's deciding to unretire from, he retired from baseball this offseason. He's unretiring from football and just had a workout with the Jacksonville Jaguars for the tight end position. Help me out here. Now,
because this is not after dark, I'm going to keep my comments to a minimum.
Oh, you've already showed out today, Tosha.
I didn't say anything. All I did was give you the visuals. That's all I did. I did not say one word. But no, the thing is, I mean, I can kind of keep it a little, people like him continue to get opportunities. He had every opportunity when he came out of Florida after winning the Heisman and whatnot to play a different position. Had Tebow taken that opportunity and played a different position, he probably would have had a decent NFL career. The fact that Jacksonville is even giving him an opportunity is a slap in the face. He's 32, 33 years old. He has not played a meaningful game of football in how many years? And to me, he hasn't played a meaningful game of baseball. You were into the AA for the Mets affiliate, and they were only doing that to get crowds, to sell tickets, like when Jordan was playing for the Barons. Jordan was there because they knew he was going to sell tickets. People love.
And he bought them a bus.
Right, and he bought him a bus. Jordan didn't get him a first class, but they probably still driving that bus. But people want Tim. They love Tim Tebow so much, and I don't understand why. He has no business taking the opportunity away from some other tight end who has been there working, grinding, trying to get to that same level that he's in, and they keep giving him chances because of who he is.
Right now he does have a certain level of celebrity about him that does afford him other chances because life is about relationships. And your old college coach is now the new coach in the NFL, and he just moved 3 doors down from you. It don't take long for y'all to meet at the mailbox and talk about a possible comeback. And if you're Urban Liar, what does it hurt you to bring an extra body in to camp to see what he has? Now Joe says he's gonna get a shot. Do you see how big he is? He has the size. Mike, would you give him a shot to come in as a GM to at least try out for a tight end?
I would give him a shot just because, as long as it doesn't, to Tasha's point, take up someone else's spot for tryouts, but I don't think it will. I would say if he's gained in size, he definitely has the hands. He definitely has the knowledge and the QB knowledge that he had. I think he was a smart quarterback when it came to that. He just didn't have that overall QB NFL transition.
Smith would say, he just
Wait a minute, I'm gonna take a poll. Hey, you guys watch football, NFL? What do you think about Tim Tebow getting an opportunity at tight end with Urban Liar bringing him in? Right now? Yeah, they worked him out as tight end for Jacksonville. Yeah. That's what I said. See, he agreed. He said he's been out of the game too long. Right. Has he been in any kind of shape? The work.
No,
Right.
no, Mike. He said right now. That's what I love.
Yeah, I mean, you could say the same for Des Bryant,
But
right?
remember, he didn't want to play tight end. He wanted
That's
to
a
be a
good
quarterback.
point. Because just like Tebow has his supporters, Des had his faction of supporters that including me that was retweeting and praying that he get a shot. Now Joe makes an interesting statement.
Guys,
If
we
you're
live
Jacksonville and you're trying to
on
make a
the
splash,
sports show. We live.
if you got a guy there that's going to sell jerseys. He's from Florida. He was a Florida legend. He's going to sell a ton of jerseys. He'll get you to show up to those 2 preseason games.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Jacksonville,
Yeah. That's the thing. I think. But if you draft somebody like Sunshine, who is supposed to be, this quote unquote all-star.
now, can you say his government name for the people who don't know who that is?
Trevor Lawrence.
There we go.
People love him. People love him. He should be the draw in himself. It's almost like some of these players that you bring back to do these things. Are you okay with being a circus act? Like, is Tim Tebow really okay with being, oh, they're just using me for this?
I think so. I mean, look at his past jobs. Right, he was literally in front of camera talking about the sport that he used to be below decent at, and then he went to try to do baseball, and then to your point, AA baseball. Like, that's a joke right there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the man has 9 lives. He fails upward. Say what you want about Tim Tebow, but when he was supposed to fall in the draft, he went in the first 25 picks.
Right.
Or 15
the boy keeps
picks.
a job. He keeps a job. Talentless.
When he lost that job, he went straight to the NFL Network. When he lost that job, he went straight to the SEC Network. Mm-hmm. Then he went straight to baseball. Now he's back on TV. The man is Teflon Don.
And then the SEC Network was giving him concessions because he had to be at baseball camp or baseball practice when the season started, and he couldn't. They were letting him do remote.
So it's the level of entitlement that turns you off there.
Right.
Tosha.
It's the entitlement that pisses me off, and he's not that. I don't even like to hear him talk on the SEC Network. Because, with my faith and everything that I've endured and everything that I really think is going to be a good... Shut up.
Oh, snap. She just snapped, Mike. No, Mike. Will you remind her that we beat Tebow in the Citrus Bowl that year?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We can let old dogs
Carr's last hurrah,
Right.
We beat him in Percy Harvin. That was a talented team we knocked off that year. The next year, here come Rich Rod, and then we all went to hell in a handbasket. But that's how we're going to walk off today's show. Sizzle, Michael, Michigan, we got to do this more often because that was a blast and it went too fast. Mike, any shout-outs on your way out the door?
Shout out to everyone. It's Friday. Some of us got paid. Let's enjoy the weekend.
Hey, you saw he got on his chain too, y'all. If you see him in the streets, make sure y'all dap him up.
I was going to tuck mine in.
We do thank you for your time. Right. Any shout-outs from you?
No, just shout outs to everyone who continues to support this platform that you put forward to giving me and Mike the opportunity to come on here and do what we both love. Again, I just want people to continue to support Paul and support him in everything that he does, because his views and everything like that, how many views he gets, that pushes you forward. That gives you more recognition. That keeps your name in people's mouths. And I just want people to continue to support you and your platform and everything that you do. And again, shouts out to all the bitches, thieves, and dope heads here in Bailey's Bar in beautiful Sosúa, República Dominicana. Everybody here, my brother Sam, my beautiful hermana over here, just everybody.
Right on. And I'd like to send a shout out to Michigan Mike, Michael Hasso, and Tosha T. Sizzle. When you want to talk about A1 Day Ones, they are it. Some of the most knowledgeable and supportive and awesome friends, smart. They know their stuff. And yes, they will say, I don't like that, Paul. Nope, wrong, Paul, you're wrong about that. If you don't have a person that can look you in your face and tell you you're wrong, you're running with the wrong crew. I'm running with the best crew. And this crew will see you all very soon as we dip out with a Go Blue.
Go Blue.